War Eagle, y'all. My name is Sydney Bowden, and I have the honor of serving as the Panhellenic Vice President for Recruitment this year.
Hey y'all, my name is Caroline Green and I serve as the Panhellenic President. Welcome back to our second weekly video of the summer where we're going to talk about some recruitment tips and tricks for registration. These are tips that Sydney and I both compiled because we wish we had them as P&Ms, and we really hope that this helps you when you register for recruitment.
Yes, absolutely. So the first big thing is an overview of registration. So where to find the link for registration, you're going to be able to get it in several different places. The first place is in our Instagram bio. There's a link there called our link tree, and you can get a link to register for recruitment there. You can also find it on the Greek Life website or at auburnuniversitypanhellenic.com. All three of those places have a link to register for recruitment. Some important dates to keep in mind is July 13th and July 22nd. July 13th is the early registration deadline. You really want to make sure to try to register before that date, because if you register before that date, that means that you can order extra t-shirts for our philanthropy round. Our philanthropy round this year is 3 days long, and you might think, oh, I could wear one shirt for all 3 days of philanthropy, and you can. That's totally fine. You can do laundry. But one of our first big tips is to make sure to try to register early so that you can get multiple t-shirts. It is hot in Alabama in August. It gets up to like 100 degrees and everybody is honestly pouring sweat. Everybody is. So, if you're pouring sweat during recruitment, don't worry about it, because all of us are. But make sure that you try to register and get multiple t-shirts so that you don't have to do laundry in the middle of the week, because that's going to be the last thing on your mind. You're really not going to want to do laundry. I didn't want to do laundry. I'm assuming Caroline probably didn't want to do laundry.
I don't think I did laundry.
No.
So
for like the first 2 weeks. It was like you're too crazy busy doing a bunch of other things. So just make sure to try to get those extra t-shirts. And then July 22nd is the late registration deadline. So if you register between July 13th and the 22nd, you're good and you'll still pay the normal $80 fee, but you'll only get one t-shirt. If you register after July 22nd, the fee increases from $80 to $300, and you also have to call the Greek Life office in order to register for recruitment. So definitely try to register before July 22nd. And then the last big tip when it comes to registration tips as a whole is to write down your login. So whenever you go to register for recruitment, you're going to make a login. Write that down somewhere where you're going to have easy access to it, not only throughout the summer, but during recruitment week, because you might need to make an edit to your registration, and you're also going to need that login for a few specific things during recruitment week. So make sure you have your hand on that.
Absolutely. So registering for recruitment is kind of a little bit more than just submitting your registration. So you'll need a few add-ons. So first thing is that you will need a headshot, and that doesn't mean a professional headshot, just a solo picture of you to submit with your registration. You'll also need a transcript. Doesn't have to be official, can be unofficial, but make sure that you also know your GPA and your class rank if your school provides that, because those will be asked on your registration. But the headshot and the transcript will be uploaded to your account after you click the initial register button. So we talk about transcript sometimes in the registration, but you will upload that after you click submit. You will also want to have your involvement written down. We ask for that involvement, and it's really important that you know what you did and you can list that. But it also might be really important that you have a resume. We don't require a resume on the Panhellenic side, but if you ask a woman for a recommendation letter, it would be really helpful to send her a resume. And throughout college, your whole freshman year and your whole college experience, when you apply for things, you'll have to submit a resume, and it's really helpful to get it now rather than later. You will also need to know your family affiliation. It's optional on our registration, so you don't have to submit it if you don't want to. It's totally your choice. But go ahead and ask around your mom, sister, grandmother, if there are any family members that maybe you don't know of who are in a sorority, because you can't indicate that on your registration. And also, one of the big things I would say is set aside a lot of time to do your registration. This is not something you want to just go through and submit and let it go. Definitely when you submit it, just have it like you want it to be, like you want every chapter to see, because while you can go back and edit it, we really prefer that you have it ready to go, get it done. The one thing that you won't have to have at the time of registration is your registration fee. So like Sydney said, it's $80 plus however many shirts you order, and this will be charged to your e-bill, which is how your Auburn University tuition is paid. And so you won't have to pay that fee through campus director or Panhellenic. The Greek Life office will automatically charge your e-bill, and you will pay that registration fee later.
Absolutely. So now I'm going to go into a little bit of what registration looks like before you submit all of the extra documents. So the first big thing is personal information. It's going to ask for all of the normal personal information like first name, middle name, last name, address, phone number, random things like that. Those are completely confidential, so don't worry about those being shared out anywhere. A big tip for this is especially if you are a woman who has a double name. So if your name is like Sally Sue or Mary Kate and different things like that. This is definitely something that trips up a lot of people. So let's say your name is Sally Sue, your preferred name is Sally Sue, your first name is Sally, middle name is Sue. So whenever you go in to register, you would put your first name is Sally, middle name is Sue, last name is whatever your last name is, and then preferred name, Sally Sue. That is because if you put Sally Sue as your first name and then Sue as your middle name, your name tag is going to read Sally Sue Sue, whatever your last name is. And nobody really wants that. We don't want that for y'all. And if that ends up happening, don't worry. We have a team of people that goes in and checks all of your registrations just to make sure. And we'll give you a call if anything like that happens. But just make sure that you know that whenever you're going in to register. Second thing is a short answer. You're going to be submitting 2 short answer responses, 200-word maximum for each. A tip here is to not think too much about your responses to these questions. Of course, you want to make it authentic and you want to make sure that it reflects you well. But I feel like whenever I was a PNM, I went in and tried to really think about everything and I mulled over it for weeks. And honestly, that wasn't super necessary on my part. Chapters really want to use this section to see your authentic responses to things. And they might ask you some similar questions during recruitment. So you just want to make sure that whatever you're answering in your short answer is the same as what you would say to a chapter member if you were walking into their chapter room during philanthropy round or anything like that. So definitely don't mull over it too much. And then another thing is a video. It's not required, it's optional to submit a video, but it's definitely encouraged so that chapters can get an introduction to you. But don't worry, we'll give you the prompts and we'll give you all the instructions you need on how to submit it and everything. And the good news is you can submit the video right whenever you register, or you can wait. We really want you to have it in before July 13th if you can, but it's not required to submit right whenever you register. But a tip is definitely try to submit it whenever you register. Just because you might be sitting there and trying to register and think, oh, like I'll submit the video in a month. And that's fine if you want to do that, but it can really slip your mind whenever everything else with summer and move in, if you're moving in somewhere, it all just gets crazy towards the end of the summer. And honestly, you might not want to record the video as much as you do right now before it gets all crazy. So try to record and submit the video as soon as possible. And then the last tip with videos is the minute time requirement or the time maximum goes by really fast. There were tons of things that I wanted to talk about in my example video that I just didn't get to because the minute ran out too fast. So definitely make sure that you are narrowing down what you want to talk about so that the things that you get to say are the most important to you.
Absolutely. And after your registration is complete, you can look out for a confirmation email from us that you have created your account and successfully submitted your registration. And throughout the summer, the Greek Life office will send you update emails with all the recruitment information that you may need to get ready for August. Be sure, like Sydney said earlier, to have your voicemail box set up because a member of the recruitment executive board might call you if we find something wrong with your registration that we want you to edit or change.
Absolutely. Those are all the tips that we have related to registration. Hopefully that answered some of your questions, but if not, feel free to reach out to us at apcrec@auburn.edu or give a call to the Greek Life office. But make sure to tune in next week where we talk about